Now that we've drawn all our flowers, now we're going to paint them. And I wanted to let you know that if you're using regular paper that we have at home, you're probably going to want to put another piece of paper underneath it, because this part, the water is going to kind of saturate the paper and go through it. So we want to kind of have as much absorbent underneath it as we can. So let's start with the rose. Here we have just a glass of water, our watercolors, and paper towel that we can wipe the paint off of. So you're going to get plain water on your paintbrush, and you're going to fill in the rose with just water, staying in the lines. You have to work quickly because this paper isn't very absorbent, or it's absorbent, but it doesn't really hold the water very well. So once it's wet, get a little red watercolor on your brush, and you just kind of tap around, and it will fill in on its own because you already put water in the lines. So it's just going to fill up on its own. Let's do that with this rose too. Fill in, and there's still a little bit of watercolor on my brush, so that water is going to be pinker. Okay, so it's wet. You don't want the brush to have too much watercolor on it, so because we're going to darken it in a minute. So fill in the rose in the same way, just kind of tap around. Okay. Now we're going to go in and darken the insides of each petal to give it a little bit of volume. So we are going to dip our brushes in the water, and you don't want there to be too much water on the paintbrush. You want it to be a little bit more saturated than it was. You're going to go in, and where each petal meets the inside of the next petal, you're going to kind of just place a little bit of red in there, and that gives it a sense of volume. And you can hear my kids screaming upstairs. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay. A little bit of water. Okay. All right. And there you have the rose. And the other flowers are really the same way. I'll do the tulip. So, tulip, fill it up with plain water. Okay, we're going to make this one purple. Do I have purple? Yeah, I do have purple. Okay. Now that it's filled with water, I'm just going to tap it around. Now I'm going to go back in with my paint. And the inside petal, you're going to make that darker because that is the part of the flower that gets the least amount of light and more shadow. Inside, inside. And then probably on the bottom of the flower because the sunlight usually comes from up top. So let's get a little bit of... Okay. And now you know the general idea behind getting volume, creating a sense of volume in your flowers. So with your daisies and your sunflowers and your no-names, you can go to town. Now you know how to do it yourself. All right.